Today we are going to discuss about demo session on Linux. What is Linux? Why is Linux? And how it is better than Windows for your project, or what is importance of Linux in your companies? Why the people are preferring Linux? So today we will discuss about that point. At the end of the session, we will discuss about what are the topics I will cover in our training. So let me start. I hope everybody is listening my voice properly. Yeah, see, what is Linux? Linux is an operating system. Some people call it as Unix, some people Linux, but according to developer, both Unix and Linux, both are same. Don't worry about anything. So what is Linux? It is an operating system. What is the use of operating system? Generally, why we need operating system? See, if you have personal system or any system, any computer, without operating system, we can't interfere with, we can't interact with computer. First, we need operating system. So through operating system, we can communicate with computer. So you are the client or you are the user. User communicate with computer through operating system. Why? See, here in my system, this is Windows. So once I install Windows, the Windows operating system is providing some environment. In that environment, we can work with any application. So in such a way, we are communicating with computer. So through operating system, we are communicating with computer. That's why operating system is known as an interface. Operating system is known as an interface between computer and user. Okay. What are the examples of operating system? The examples are like this. So many operating systems are there. Some of the operating systems, DOS, Windows, Unix, Linux, Mac, OS2, and etc. So all these things are examples of operating systems. These operating systems are divided into three types, three categories. So first category is single user and a single task operating system. Single user and a single task operating system means at a time only one user can log in and he can work with one task. Again, at a time only one user can log in and he can work with only one task. He can do only one work. So that is called as a single user and a single task operating system. The example for this type of operating system is MS-DOS. DOS, Disk Operating System, Microsoft Disk Operating System. Listen carefully. In the old days, before Windows operating system, DOS is there. In your system, if you installed DOS, okay, in the old days, no, I'm not talking about nowadays. So you can see this environment. If your system is ready, you can see this environment. You don't see any graphical icons, remember. You don't see any graphical icons. So the interacting environment is completely CUI. If you want to know where you are, you need to enter command. If you want to know files, suppose here, see, right now we are working with which folder? PV. Suppose if you want to work with users folder, submit some command. Suppose if you want to work with the C drive, C folder. So each and every one is known as a folder. Folders here we can call it as a directory. So under C drive, if you want to know what are the files, dir. Here I want to move into Oracle directory. I want to move into Oracle folder. How can I move into Oracle folder? See here, cd app. So again, cd Oracle home user. Here, if you want to see the files under the directory, dir. Each and every one, every task you can do by using commands. This is the environment of DOS. Okay, so but here, what are the drawbacks of DOS? Drawbacks is it is not user friendly. Why? Because for each and every one, we should remember commands. If by mistake, if I forgot any command, you are unable to continue your work. Next, it is not supporting multiple users. At a time, only one user can log in. And at a time, we are able to perform only one task. So these are the drawbacks of MS-DOS. Now, next operating system is single user and multitasking. Same single user. Here, single user, single task. Here, single user and multitask. See, at a time, only one user can log in. What is the meaning of only one user? See, this is Windows. Already I logged on. So there is no chance to some other person to log in into the system. If I log out, then some other person can log in. So if I don't log out, until I will log out, no chance to second one. Means supporting only one user login. Next, we can work with multiple tasks. What is multitasking? We can work with multiple tasks. See here, I am working with some browser. Okay, some folder. Next, some text document. 3, Word document. And GoToMeeting, and also with the DOS environment. So parallelly, we are working with multiple applications. It is called as multitasking. Multitasking, remember. Okay, what is the benefit of Windows operating system than DOS? See, here advantages. I want to create a file. Just right click and select new and select any of your creations here. So suppose I want to see data from a file. So if I want to see data from a file here, this is the data. Just double click it. No need to execute commands. So to simplify that command environment, the Microsoft people released graphical environment operating system. So the benefit is not necessary to remember the commands. And moreover, we can work with multiple applications parallelly. This is the benefit of single user and multitask. The example is Microsoft Windows operating system. Okay, here, what is the drawback? It is not supporting multiple user logins. Multiple user logins. And one more drawback is there. It's not freeware. You should see, you are unable to download it freely. If you want Windows operating system, you need to purchase from Microsoft company. Okay, nowadays Microsoft company is also releasing free updates. But once upon a time, if you want to update your operating system, you need to pay some amount to the Microsoft. That is also one of the drawback. The third category of operating system is multi-user and multitask. What is multi-user and multitask? See, already we discussed multitask, working with multiple applications parallelly. What is multi-user? Multi-user means at a time, more than one user. Suppose at a time, two users working with the operating system or three users log into the same system. How it is possible? Yes, it is possible in our multi-user operating system. At a time, multiple users can work with that and they can perform multiple tasks. The examples for the multi-user is UNIX and Linux. What is UNIX? So it is a multi-user and also it is supporting multiple tasks. Who has developed UNIX? Actually, before Linux, we have UNIX operating system. So I will show you the history of operating system UNIX. Yeah, before that, so UNIX, who has developed UNIX? So the author of UNIX operating system is Dennis Ritchie and his team. So I think most of the people know about Dennis Ritchie. He is a famous author who developed C language. And Unix operating system developed in late 1971. See, in the old days means in the early days of Unix, only it is supporting CUI environment like this. Only it is supporting CUI environment like this. Okay, but in 1988, GUI version of Unix is also implemented. Okay, now Unix is not open source code. You cannot download Unix system freely. It is a paid version. Later, so in which year it was released? 1971. After 20 years, we have one more operating system. Instead of saying one more operating system, we can say like this. The most advanced system of Unix is nothing but Linux. It was released in 1991. After 20 years, it was released, and the author of Linux is Linus Torvalds. He is a research scholar on Unix operating system. So what is the benefit of Linux? Why it is called as most advanced than Unix? What are the drawbacks in Unix? Only two drawbacks. One is it's not freeware. We can't download it freely. And another one is by default, it is not GUI. Like Windows, it is not GUI, Unix in the early days. So that two drawbacks are eliminated in Linux. It is open source code software. Anybody can download it freely, and anybody can make changes to that Linux operating system. Anybody can make changes to the Linux operating system. Okay, see, Linux operating system default environment is like GUI. GUI means user friendly. And now, What are the different flavors of Unix? Say, flavors of Unix means the Unix operating system. It was developed by multiple companies, and every company released it as their own product. Again, Linux operating system first developed by Bell Labs, Dennis Ritchie. So later, different companies purchased that core version and they make some changes to their operating system and release it as their own product. That is called as flavors. It is Berkeley Labs Unix or Bell Labs. So SCO Unix. From IBM, we have one Unix operating system called as AIX. From HP, we have UX. And from Sun Microsystems, we have Solaris. This is the most popular Unix operating system before 10 to 12 years back. So one of the most famous Unix operating system, Solaris. So, okay, these are the flavors of Unix. What are the flavors of Linux? Is that, say, Red Hat Linux, SUSE Linux, Fedora Linux. So this is from Red Hat company. This is from OpenSUSE company. Fedora is also from Red Hat. Ubuntu from Ubuntu company. Oracle Enterprise Linux OEL and CentOS. This is also from Red Hat. CentOS is also from Red Hat. So now I'm showing you what is the history of Unix. Same history. See, just now I told you basically Unix was developed by whom? See, this research on Unix is done by Dennis Ritchie and his team at Bell Labs. From this Unix, first commercial Unix was developed. Commercial Unix means it's not freeware. It's you should pay if you want to get it. Say from this commercial Linux, different companies purchased the core version. So they make changes in that core version. HP company released a new name UX after some changes. IBM released AIX and SGI released IRIX. Sun Microsystems released Solaris. So why they specified Sun or Oracle? Nowadays, Sun Microsystems is not there. Oracle adopted that Sun Microsystems. Okay, so this is commercial Unix. These are not freeware. All are Unix operating systems. Okay, from the same research, they developed some free versions. BSD. From the BSD, we have three types again: free BSD, NetBSD, OpenBSD. Don't worry about all these names, but you should learn, you should understand what is Unix, what is Linux. So here, Microsoft company released Xenix, Sun Microsystems released Sun OS, Apple company released OS X, and see, on GNU based Unix, GNU based means graphical version of Unix. On this version, Linus Torvalds made some research and he released one operating system called as Linux. So this is the actual history. Okay, so these are the commercial versions or flavors. You can't download them. So you can download remaining versions if it is free. So anybody can download Linux. Okay, that is also here two types of Linux are there. Commercial Linux Open Linux. Commercial Linux you can't download. Only you can download only Open Linux or freeware of Linux. So we have Debian Linux, Red Hat Linux, two flavors. Debian Linux and Red Hat Linux. Debian Linux is free. Ubuntu, Oracle, all are free. But remaining Red Hat Linux is commercial. You can't download it freely. Okay, now see, what are the advantages of Linux? See, Linux is very faster than Windows. And here in the world, the most secureable operating system is Linux. So that's why so many people can say it's virus free. Linux is virus free. Why? Because internally Linux is having different security patches are there. So Microsoft, the other operating systems are there. They are following one standard patches for the security. If anybody able to hack that level, automatically they can hack the operating system. But Linux, what is the advantage? See, I can follow different patches for security. You can follow different patches for security. Some other person can follow different patches. Means there is no standard way to follow the security. Even if anybody hack one Linux operating system, there is no guarantee to hack other Linux operating system. Why? Because there are different security levels are there. That's why the people are saying Linux is the most secureable operating system in the world. And already we discussed it's a multi-user, multitask. And see, portability. What is portability? Nowadays, we can use Linux operating system for personal computer, for very small works, as well as small business, and for medium business, and for the very large computers also you can use Linux. Compatibility. Compatibility. What is compatibility? Simple. It will compatible with any computer technology. So in the old days we have C, C++, Java, or otherwise different technologies are there. Microsoft technologies, .NET. So for all the technologies, any technology supported by Unix or Linux. Nowadays we have Python or Scala, artificial intelligence languages, robotic processing, IoT, Hadoop. For all these things, there is a support from Linux operating system. And moreover, it's open source code. Anybody can download Debian related distributions. Distros means distributions. Debian flavor of Linux you can freely download. That's why it is called as open source code. So this is about basic idea about the Linux operating system. Okay, what is the architecture? How can I interact with Linux? See, you are the user. You want to work with Linux. What you will do? Start your system. Then Linux will provide one environment. Okay, so in that environment, if you want to execute commands, then use shell. Shell will be started. Shell is a command window. Simple. Shell is a command window. In that window, you can type commands. Then it is communicating with kernel. From kernel is communicating with different applications in the hard disk. different applications under hard disk. What is a shell? Shell is interface between kernel and user application. And what it will do? See, user application is user friendly, always web pages, SQL, any C language. These are all user friendly. Means user is able to understand how to write a program, how to write a query, how to work with application. So that work will be converted into machine language by shell. Why? Because this is user friendly. Okay, fine. But how can I make that user friendly language that is understandable to the system? So the user friendly, whatever the data you have given, whatever the program you typed, whatever the query you typed, that should be converted into machine language. Who is doing that? Shell. So that machine format is passed to kernel. Then kernel is doing some task internally by interacting with the application in the hard disk. Now, what are the different shells? So we need shell compulsory to communicate with database. To communicate with the operating system, we need shell. See, generally, basically, three types of shells are there. Either Bourne shell or Corn shell or C shell. The first shell is C shell. Different companies developed different shells. And see, next one. In Linux, what are the shells? The default shell is bash. You can also work with TCSH. Two shells are there. Bash means born again shell. What is this born? Stephen Born. He developed Born shell. See, Born shell here. Stephen Born developed Born shell. And if you see, what is the command prompt here? C drive. Hold on. You can understand right now. Again, cd dot. What is the command prompt? Command prompt means the place where you are typing the commands. The place where you are typing the commands. It is called as command prompt. What is the command prompt? C drive. Similarly, if we are working with the Bourne shell, what is the prompt? $. If I am working with the Corn shell, what is the command prompt? Again $. If you are working with the C shell, what is the command prompt? Percentile. You can see the percentile symbol here. Here you can see percentile. So similarly, two types of shells in Linux. Here, bash shell and TCSH. Bash shell means born again shell. TCSH means turbo C shell. So here, what is the prompt symbol? $. For bash, what is the symbol of the prompt? Command prompt is $. For the TCSH, greater than is the symbol. And see here, this is Windows. Listen carefully, guys. This is Windows. So what is this environment? GUI, desktop, right? Similarly, in the Windows, can we work with command window? Can I work with command window? Yes, we are working. I hope you understand. So in the Windows, we can work with command window as well as we are working with desktop. See, similarly, in Linux operating system, we can work with two environments. One is CUI, another one is GUI. In CU, command window mode, in CUI mode, User directly interacting with shell means command window. There is no graphical mode. So from the shell, the interaction, the interface is going to kernel. Kernel is communicating with hard disk. In GUI mode, user is communicating with the desktop. He is seeing desktop. In the desktop, he wants to work with commands, then open the shell. And from there, he is communicating with kernel and finally hard disk. Okay, this is the environment and interaction in your personal system. In the real time, why are you learning Linux? Just now we understand what is Linux and what are the benefits of Linux. But in the real time, what is the scenario? Why are you learning Linux operating system, all of you? There is one reason. Listen, as a developer, you are working with your local systems in the company, but all your local systems are connected to company server. Servers are always Linux or Unix servers. Every day you should connect to server. From the server, you can collect your files. Every day after your work was completed, the finished work should be transferred to server. If you want to transfer, you need to connect to server. Your system is Windows and server is Linux. How can I connect? You can connect like this. You are the developer. Sorry, here. You are the developer. And in the company, your personal system is Windows. In this Windows, there is a tool known as Putty. Putty is a small window. Okay, it's a tool, small tool. What is Putty? Putty is a tool between client machine and server machine. It is an interface between client machine and server machine. Client machine means your system. Server machine means a company server. So if you open Putty, it is asking about three details, three parameters. IP address of server, username and password. Again, IP address of server, username, password. If you submit three parameters and select connect button, connect, then it is connecting to Unix server or Linux server. Okay, so once it was connected, okay, through Putty I connected. Then how the environment I will look like? See, let us assume this is Linux. This is Linux, GUI Linux, right? If I connected to server through Putty, see, Putty is a small window. Let us assume here I submitted IP address, username, password, and selected connect. It was connected to server. So what is the symbol I can see? You can see the symbol this. You don't see C colon, all these things. In the Putty window, you can see dollar. You know one point? Even you don't know with which Linux flavor you are working. Just a black window, small black window, and there is a dollar symbol. So how do I know where I am? Where are my files? How to upload files? How to download files? How can I modify some file? In this environment, for everything, you should know the Unix or Linux commands. Want to create a file? Type command. Right now you are working with which environment? Linux. It's a CUI. Want to create a file? Use command. Want to delete a file? Use command. Want to search a file? Use command. Want to create a zip file? Use command. For each and every one, if you want to work with server, you should work in this environment, and you should know how to use commands of Unix or Linux. I hope you understand how and why you are learning Unix or Linux. That's why, see, you don't see, the company should not provide GUI environment of Linux to the developer. The company should not provide GUI environment of Linux to the developer. If you want to connect with the server, Linux server, only you have one choice, that is PuTTY. If you connected through PuTTY, only you can see this environment. So that's why we are learning Linux commands, shell scripting, editors, job scheduling. Okay, now, so we understand what is a shell. What is kernel? See, if you boot your system means if you start your Windows or Linux or any operating system, kernel is common for all the people, for all types of operating systems. See, if you boot your system, the booting process will be started. Booting process means the operating system programs or files will be started one by one, one by one, one by one. After some time, the system is ready to you for working. Means in this programs one by one started. Okay, which program will be started at the very beginning moment? Kernel. It is a program or process. It is the first process started in the booting process. And kernel is the first process. Reminding, all processes are called as child processes. All the child processes are managed by whom? Parent. Who is the parent? Kernel. So that's why kernel is known as a parent process, and it will organize all remaining child processes within the system. For any operating system, kernel is common. And what is our course? What we are discussing in our course? See, we are discussing about all Unix commands. Unix commands means general commands, directory related commands, file related commands. File related commands, remember, and process related commands, filter commands, file comparison commands, networking commands, and communication commands. These are the different types of commands we are discussing. After that, redirection operators and also meta characters. Next, editor, how to create a file, how to modify a file. So one of the most famous editor is VI editor. VI editor. So it's completely CUI. What three topics I told you? All types of commands, redirection operators, and meta characters. editors. After that, shell scripting. Shell scripting is also called as shell programming. Under shell scripting, we will discuss about types, means scripting types, operators, and what is read command purpose, what is echo command purpose, conditional statements, loops, case, and arguments. And finally, we are discussing about job scheduling. So don't worry, guys. I will send the course content document along with this document to your mails. Don't worry, I will collect your mails from the Durga Soft and I will send everyday discussing document, recorded file. Our session is recording video, recorded file, and also everyday document I will send. Okay, now let me show you how the Unix environment look like, how the Linux environment look like. Okay, this is Windows operating system. Without disturbing Windows operating system, we can maintain second operating system, Unix or Linux. So for that, you have two methods. One is dual operating system. Dual operating system means half of the hard disk dedicated to Windows, half of your disk is dedicated to Linux. One method. That is little bit difficult method. Now the simple method is by using what is that, VMware virtual machine. You can install VMware first. This one, select it. Already I installed. In VMware you can install Linux. In VMware you can install Linux. Okay, here I installed Ubuntu. So power on this virtual machine. So if you want to work with Linux, just start VMware and then start Linux. It will be started. If you don't want to work with VMware, yes. So if you don't want to work with Unix or Linux, just shut down this Unix or Linux and exit from VMware. Exit. Automatically it will be closed. Once it was closed, you can work with Windows. Okay, so there is no disturbance to any other operating system. Please hold on, let it start. Just 5 minutes. I want to show you what is the environment in your personal system and what is the environment in the real time. Both I want to show you. Just 5 minutes. Hold on. Yes, guys. Here, once it is ready, it is showing the list of user accounts available. List of user accounts available in your Ubuntu. Here, I want to connect as Dinesh 7. So the password is welcome 7. Hit enter. If I hit enter, then it will show you desktop. Why? Because we are working with GUI. It is a personal system. In the personal system, you can work with the GUI and also you can work with the CUI. But in the companies, in the real time, only you will connect it to CUI. So wait some time. Okay. Anyway, Dinesh 7 was connected. So let me switch into CUI. Let me switch into CUI. See here. Actually, in GUI, one user already logged in. Here it is asking for second user. So here I am connecting like this. Ubuntu, it's my username. The password. I have submitted the password. See here. What is the symbol you are seeing? Dollar. In the personal system, even you are seeing this one line, Ubuntu @Ubuntu local. Ubuntu is user connected to Ubuntu local server. Even in the personal system, you can see this information, but in the real time, you don't see anything except a dollar symbol. Only you can see dollar symbol in the real time. This is the environment you can work in the real time. If you want to see files, ls. If you want to move to any other directory, if you want to move to any other file, see, if you want to open any file data, this is, if you want to delete a file, delete, deleted, see the resultant files. In the above file names list, you can see files info. In the below file names list, you can't see because the file was deleted. So this is the environment you are working in the real time. Okay. In your personal system, how can I see GUI environment? This is the GUI environment. So you can expand it also. You can see in full screen also. This is the GUI environment. So it's like a desktop. Sir, I want to see the files. See here. Open, select it. It will open folder, files folder. You can explore your files. You can see the file names. See, this was created by me. Double click. These are the files. Okay, I want to see something like a P file. How to see the data? Double click. It's the same as Windows, no change. But see, the file was opened. Close this. Okay, and also close this window. Let me close this window. Close it. How to work with command window in GUI? Can I work with command window in GUI? Yes, you can also work with command window. How to see? Open and here select terminal. Okay, it was opened. ls, you can see the files. Go switch into any other directory. My dir directory means it is a folder, don't worry. So now actually we are working with default directory. Now we are working with my dir ls. These are the files under my dir. Suppose if you want to open a file cat prc, this is the data under prc. Let me clear the screen. Cat prc1, this is the data under prc1. Clear. How can I see a file page wise, page by page? More prc, this is the first page. Only you are seeing 6% of your file. Second page, third page, fourth page. That's all. I don't want to see more. Q for exiting page wise display. Close the command window, exit. Like this. Listen carefully. One user is under CUI, another user under GUI. How many users parallelly working? 2 users. So it's not possible in other operating systems. Only this type of login and working is possible in Unix and Linux. Okay, this is about Unix and Linux demo. So anybody having any questions? Prasad, Praveen, hold on. I got a question from Shiva. Let me check that. Yeah, this course is suitable for you, Shiva. No problem. In case if you are unable to understand any command, suppose the command is not covered by me, in case, then ask, just post me that command. I will explain. Any more questions? Vaibhav, I hope everybody hearing me. So if you have any questions, then ask me. AWK as a filter, I can explain. Do you need complete AWK programming, Rakesh? I can explain AWK as a filter, but we have a separate concept, awk programming. No, awk programming I am not covering. I can explain AWK as a filter command. No, I am not teaching networking. Network programming is not covered. Okay, so after this session, I will collect the mail IDs of you. Yes, Praveen. You can automate the tasks, no problem. You can automate the tasks, no issues. We are covering job scheduling. Job scheduling is nothing but automating your tasks. Yes, sure. No, Viru, I'm not covering admin related things. It's not Linux admin, only for developers. Praveen, oh, hold on, Praveen. Let me check your message. Servers starting and stopping. Actually, I am unable. Let me get the information. If I got the information, I will explain. Why? Because servers working means you need some admin related tasks. Amit, certification not required, I think. If you want to go for certification, then you need to go for Red Hat certification. Yes, for Hadoop, it is useful, Rakesh. Okay, then I will send that which platforms it will need. It will need means, Prasad, I didn't get your question. Which is using? Linux is using Python scripting and shell scripting. Which one is good in industry? Python scripting is most famous nowadays. Shell scripting is useful for automation purposes. Yes, it is useful for Oracle DBA. Okay, then remaining part we will continue from tomorrow. So thank you all of you. I will send the detailed course content document to you. Please verify the document. According to your requirement, you can continue. The complete course duration is 25 days. Complete course duration is 25 days. That's all for today. Thank you all of you. See you tomorrow.